you tweeted, I think it was a tweet from you, that you had a great time at AIPAC yesterday. Tell me more about it.
Well, it's always a good opportunity to be there, as I said, with about 14,000 of your best friends, and all committed to understanding the worldwide security situation, especially when we have a clear and present evil such as you see with Iran. But to get the opportunity to see Prime Minister Netanyahu speak, who is, I think, one of the most dynamic leaders we have across the globe at this time, is always a fantastic treat.
Yeah. I actually want to follow up with the AIPAC regarding a certain congressman who was there. But before I go to that, when a person sits on the sideline, or I wouldn't say that being a congressman is necessarily a sideline, congressmen know many things, and the intelligence community knows. But the question is, what would be the best approach for Iran? What I'm saying is, of course, sanctions can be good and covert operations, but everybody is concerned that, on the one hand, you can't let or permit Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon or even nuclear capabilities in general. But on the other hand, if say, Israel strikes Iran and they decide to play around a little bit with the oil market, we're going to have a problem on our hands.
Well, there are two things. There are two things that should have happened. First of all, 16 years ago, when Prime Minister Netanyahu brought this issue to the forefront, we should have taken action back then. That includes ensuring that we have a energy independence policy and program that would make it would make irrelevant whatever Iran would tinker around with doing or threatening the Straits of Hormuz. So, and then the other thing is we should not have ever allowed Iran to begin this type of nuclear weapons program, understanding that this is not a rational regime. It's a theocratic, political, totalitarian regime that is bent on one thing. I mean, they don't recognize Israel as a modern-day state. They don't recognize what happened with the Holocaust, and they have clearly stated that they would like to, Ahmadinejad said they'd like to wipe Israel off the map. So we have to start taking them for their word. We also have to start looking at how do we go at this and not be concerned about more time, more diplomatic solutions, more sanctions, because they don't care about the welfare of their people.
Now, obviously, I certainly agree that, had the U.S. been producing way more oil in the last 10, 15 years, then, of course, a smaller percent of the global oil market, oil supply, would have gone through the Strait of Hormuz. Now I think it's like 20% of the 85 million barrels used a day. Now, again, if only we would have been producing 50 million barrels a day instead of the 9, things would be different. But the question is now, after we did fail to be more energy independent, now that Iran appears to be way ahead or well ahead in the program, would you support an overt military strike by the United States at this time?
Well, I've always said that, and I've always said that there comes a time where you have exhausted your diplomatic and solutions, and I see that happening. Look, all you have to do is look at North Korea and see how they continue to play the game of international extortion with us, and that's exactly what is happening with Iran, except the ramifications and the consequences are much more dire in the case of Iran.
Yeah, but look, I don't want to drive you crazy, but I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say confused, but I'm trying to get a clearer answer because take somebody in North Korea. Bill Clinton ran around the 94th saying, he did a great job, but of course in 2001 or 2 we learned that it was all a joke and a show. But then again, 10 years passed, and has North Korea bothered anyone? I'm not in favor that Ahmadinejad should have.
Well, I wouldn't say that North Korea has not bothered anyone. They sunk a South Korean naval vessel, and they fired 200 rounds of artillery onto a South Korean island. And we know that there was a collusion going on between North Korea and Syria as far as a nuclear weapons program. So, they still cause us concern as well. But I think we have to look at the capability and capacity that Iran has to build a nuclear weapons program has to be ended.
Okay, all right, I fully understand. But I'm talking here now to a potential vice president. So I do want to know if you think, you said if we exhausted all the options in Iran, do you think we have reached that point of exhausting all non-military options?
Well, in my assessment, yes, and I would like to be able to sit down with with President Netanyahu and have a classified intelligence sharing briefing, and that could solidify my assessment.